Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of the 2023 Hyundai Elantra Limited and the 2023 Hyundai Elantra N-Line. Now there's one big reason I want to do this comparison, and that is these two Elantras come in at a very similar price point. However, they are quite different underneath the skin. And I even managed to get the exact same exterior color for this comparison. So one thing I want to mention right at the beginning of this video to clarify for anybody that might be unfamiliar with the Hyundai brand of cars is that Hyundai makes the base model, the N-Line, as well as the top end cars, which are track oriented with many mechanical upgrades. Now the N-Line, depending on the model that you're looking at, does come with mechanical changes that increase the performance over that of the standard or base entry-level model here in the Elantra lineup in specific. Now Hyundai does make some N-Line cars similar to that of the Elantra that don't receive any mechanical changes or any performance upgrades, and those are mainly the Tucson N-Line and the former or outgoing Kona N-Line. We haven't seen the new generation Kona N-Line quite yet, but here in the Elantra in specific, there are mechanical and performance upgrades, including the transmission, the engine, some suspension stuff that does make this more performance oriented over that of the standard Elantra, but not quite as capable as the track oriented N version. Now first I want to clarify the exact list of differences as far as the Elantra N-Line goes that helps differentiate it from that of the regular Elantra. So the key differences are that it's going to get the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with the 7-speed dry dual clutch transmission versus that of the standard Elantras, which gets the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with the IVT type transmission. The N-Line also gets the multi-link independent rear suspension versus that of the torsion beam in the regular Elantras. Now, if you follow the channel, then you know the hybrid version of the Elantra also gets the multi-link independent suspension, which to me is a huge upgrade. The N-Line Elantra gets stiffer suspension and retuned dampers, so stiffer spring rates, retuned dampers. It gets larger front brake rotors of that of the standard Elantra. They are 12-inch in size if you're curious. It gets 18-inch wheels that are unique to this trim level. It gets some of the N styling aspects of the front and rear bumpers, different side skirt extensions, a little bit of a rear spoiler on the trunk lid, and a bunch of stuff on the inside as well. So N styling, if you will. The N version is obviously a little bit more aggressive, but this is kind of a nice in-between vehicle if you're looking for that. And of course, I already mentioned some of the unique aspects on the interior, such as the seats, some of the steering wheel, shift knobs, stuff like that, that are going to be unique to the N-Line as well as the top N versions of the Elantra. So those are some of the key differences for the N-Line in specific. So the features that you're going to gain in the limited Elantra versus that of the N-Line are going to be LED headlights, the forward collision avoidance assist with pedestrian, cyclist, junction turning detection. That's actually also available on the SCL convenience package. You get smart cruise control with stop and go, highway drive assist 1, the parking collision avoidance assist for the rear, which comes with rear parking sensors as well, leather seating surfaces on the inside, the electronic parking brake, the auto dimming rear view mirror, Bose premium audio system, which is an 8-speaker setup, and finally the ambient LED interior lighting. So those are all found on the Elantra Limited that you will not find here on the N-Line. Now when it comes to both cars, here's just a short list of some of the features that you actually won't find in the lower trim levels, lower than each of these two. So both cars are going to have 60/40 split folding seats. Now if you get like an SE, SEL, or SEL Convenience, you actually get a bench folding seat, so the entire seat back in the Elantra folds down versus that of the 60/40 split in these two vehicles. You get a power driver's seat with power lumbar adjustment, a single sunroof, and you get Hyundai Digital Key with the wireless charging pad. So those are all found in both of these two vehicles, where you won't find them in lower trim levels. But in terms of pricing for both these vehicles, they come in right around the $28,000 mark. The Limited starts out at $27,695, including destination, and the N-Line starts out at $28,395, once again, including destination. So this represents a $700 price difference between these two. Now the N-Line before the 2023 model year actually used to be cheaper than that of the Limited, but Hyundai did increase the prices across the board for this model year, and that made the N-Line then more expensive of the Limited, even though technically you are getting more comfort and convenience features over here on the cheaper Limited, if you will. So that kind of explains the pricing aspect and why I want to do this comparison. So now let's do a quick walk around of each of these two vehicles. Now obviously, because they're the same exact model, there's not really going to be any interior or noticeable significant interior size differences, so I'm not going to cover that too much in this video. But starting up front, you can see immediately the front fascias are going to be entirely different from one another. So starting on the Limited, like I said, you do get the full LED projector headlamps, which to me are a huge upgrade. These are only found on the Limited and Hybrid Limited, as well as the top end version of the Elantra. But with that, you still do get the incandescent turn signal, unfortunately, which is a little bit of a bummer. The Limited gets more of the chrome accent trim on the lower front fascia that matches the entire grille. It's kind of a darkened chrome, not a bright chrome like the Hyundai emblem mounted on the top of the bumper there. And of course, you do get aero curtains on each side to help direct air around the wheel and tire for better aerodynamic efficiency. And one way to tell that a vehicle has smart or adaptive cruise control is the sensor plate located right beneath the license plate. You can see that's not on the Elantra N-Line because that does not have smart cruise control. Now over here on the N-Line trim, you can see the unique front bumper with the gloss black accents. You will not get LED headlamps, unfortunately, so you have halogen projector headlamps with LED daytime running light, and again, incandescent turn signal in the same location on the grille. Once again, glossed out grille with the N-Line emblem here on the passenger side. Chrome Hyundai emblem in the same spot on the front bumper, but overall it is going to be a lot more aggressive. Again, not as aggressive as the Elantra N, but a little bit more aggressive than that of the base model here over on my left side, or any of the other entry-level Elantras. But anyways, continuing on with both these vehicles, coming to the sides, both are going to have body color mirror caps, LED turn signal integration here on the Limited. They are going to be heated, does have blind spot detection, of course. Now moving over to the N-Line, you get the N-Line fender badge here. Black mirror caps without LED turn signal integration. They're still going to be heated and still have blind spot detection. Like I mentioned earlier, both these vehicles do have Hyundai digital key on the front door handles. So they are the capacitive touch. You can simply put your hand behind the door panel, it'll unlock, and then to lock the vehicle, just hit the touch sensor pad on the front of the handle there. Now backing away from the Limited, you can see there's going to be more bright chrome work on this particular trim because it is a little bit more luxury oriented, if you will, in this segment. So you get the bright chrome trim below the door panel along the belt line there. No real side skirt extension on the bottom like you'll find on the N-Line. Both these vehicles do have the single power sunroof like I mentioned as well. And you can see the wheel designs are going to be quite different. Now moving over to the N-Line, you're gonna have more black accents on this particular vehicle. So you have the gloss black belt line trim, the B and C pillar trims, along with the mirror cap, so it all kind of ties in together. Looks very good on this fluid metal exterior. And you will get the side skirt extensions down below that you won't find on any other trim except, of course, the top end version of the Elantra. Coming to the wheels and tires, this is another big difference between these two. On the N-Line, you're gonna have 18-inch unique alloy wheels, and on the Limited, you're gonna get the 17-inch machine and dark gray finish wheels. Obviously, this is gonna have a different tire mounted to them as well, so you get a 235/40 18-inch Hankook all season on the left, and on the right side, you're gonna get a 225/45 17-inch Kumo Majesty Solus all-season tire. So a little bit wider of a tire here on the N-Line to help with the performance benefits. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, this does have some stiffer springs as well as retuned dampers, and of course the larger brake rotors as well to help with a little bit more performance. But there you can see the side skirt extension on the N-Line. Coming out back, this is another key difference for both these vehicles. The taillight assemblies are actually going to be the same for the 2023 model year. So you have the bulb plus LED type tail lamps, which means the brake light, the turn signal, and reverse light are all going to be incandescent. And basically the running light when the headlights are on are going to be LED accented. But that's about it. Like I said, you do get unique spoiler here on the N-Line, finished in the gloss black accents. Down below, you do get a unique rear bumper design with a little bit more aggressive rear diffuser and the dual outlet tips on the right side or the passenger side of the vehicle. You still have the Elantra spelled out on the trunk lid. Now out back of the Elantra Limited, like I said, the lighting is going to be identical. So you have the bulb brake light, the turn signal and reverse light with the LED running lamp out back. Same chrome emblems as far as the Elantra spelled out on the trunk lid go, but you do get a Limited here on the right side or passenger side, and there is no gloss black or any sort of spoiler here on the deck lid itself. The bumper is going to be a little bit more luxury oriented. You do not have any exhaust tips exposed on the right or left side. You have the same darkened chrome accent as the front bumper with the rear parking sensors like I mentioned. That is part of the safety systems that this car has that the Elantra N-Line does not have. So that is pretty much the differences as far as the exterior appearance goes. But let's go ahead and take a look on the inside of both these vehicles and see where the differences continue. So now moving on to the inside, I first want to start with the Elantra Limited because this one's going to be a little bit more similar to that of the lesser SE, SCL Elantras than the N-Line is going to be to those cars. But looking inside, this one has the light gray leather interior. You can get black if you would like. Starting out on the door panel, you do have hard touch upper. You do have a cloth insert that looks very nice with the gray accent stitching, and then you have the gray center section. This is the only door panel, fun fact here on the Elantra, that is finished in this light gray color. The rest of them are going to be black like the passenger side over there. Power windows, mirrors, and locks with automatic driver's side. The silver tweeter, this does have the Bose premium audio system, and the silver accented door handle pull. Power driver's seat with two-way power lumbar. Both these vehicles will have that. This one has the full leather seating surfaces. So immediately you can see this one has the full 10.25-inch digital cluster along with the 10.25 infotainment navigation system. Again, this is going to be the same between both these vehicles. Leather-wrapped steering wheel with audio controls and Bluetooth controls on the left side. The right side has your controls for the center display, so you can control and configure a lot of things in this vehicle. It does have your lane follow assist, highway drive assist 1, as well as your smart cruise control as well. Automatic headlights with auto high beam assist. Regular wipers. To the left of the steering wheel, you have your lane keeping assist on off, traction control off, as well as your gauge illumination. Mostly hard touch dashboard with the textured finishes. Like I said, moving over to the infotainment, a built-in navigation. This means only wired Android Auto, wired Apple CarPlay. You have your driver profiles, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs, BlueLink, so you can control this via the smartphone app and some of the other stuff as well. Very nice infotainment, if I have to say so. You have your manual shortcut buttons with a volume and power knob below that. Dual zone automatic climate control with heated front seats. Wireless charging pad with Hyundai digital key as well, so this is where you'll lay your smartphone if you're using the digital key option. USB-A charging as well as a 12-volt outlet. Drive mode select, this does have normal, sport, and smart modes. Here's your backup camera. Electronic parking brake with automatic hold, and this does have the IVT type transmission like I mentioned. Two large cup holders, center armrest, does have a good amount of storage. It is nicely padded, does not slide. Light gray headliner. Vanity illumination, auto dimming rear view mirror. That is something the Limited has that the N-Line does not. BlueLink, SOS, sunroof controls, as well as your incandescent interior lighting. And there is your single power sunroof. Out back, you will see a difference in materials immediately, especially on the door panels. So like I said, black door panels on all but the driver with the light gray interior option. You still get the gray cloth insert. Hard touch plastics throughout though. Seating surfaces will be the same. Take a look at the front dashboard. Out back, you won't find USB charging or any AC vents. You have one map net on the passenger seat, and I really do like the gray accent cloth that lines the backs of the seats. It makes it look a little bit more premium, as well as the headrest up top. But as far as legroom goes, plenty of legroom, a good amount of footroom. I would say it's a little bit on the tight side there. And as far as headroom goes, again, I would say there is enough for most people. I'd say I have about an inch, inch and a half of headroom, but overall a very comfortable place to be. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Elantra N-Line, see what it offers there and see what the material differences are, because it is quite different inside that vehicle. Now taking a quick look at the front passenger seat before we jump over to the N-Line, see black door panel, four-way manual seats and no height or power adjustments. There's a look at the two-tone dashboard. It is quite strange and unique, I have to say. Now taking a look on the inside of the Elantra N-Line, every single one will have the same option as there's only one available. It is the black with the red accents throughout. Now starting on the door panel, you do have hard touch uppers, a nice soft touch insert with the red accent stitching, a dark chrome tweeter grille there, and a soft touch armrest here as well. Same power window situation, so you have the automatic driver window. Darkened chrome door handle pull, no premium audio in this one, but the same storage and everything like that. Power driver seat with two-way power lumbar. And these are going to be a little bit more aggressive of a seat versus that of the regular Elantra. You can see it is finished in a two-tone suede cloth insert, red accent stitching, and you have the N embroidered or embossed in the backrest there, makes it look a little bit more sporty, and of course a leather wrapped headrest. And you guys probably can't hear that on camera, but it does have a little bit more aggressive of an exhaust note as well. You can actually hear it upon startup, which is very nice, especially for somebody who might be buying this as a somewhat enthusiast or car person in general. Now take a look at the dashboard, same digital gauge cluster, infotainment with built-in navigation, no difference there. To the left of the digital gauge cluster, you do have your drive mode select. So this is where you'll change your drive modes instead of down by the shifter. It does have the same normal sport and smart drive modes that changes the gauge cluster layout. The steering wheel is going to be unique to the N-Line as well as the N versions. This is the full N steering wheel with the red accent stitching. So it is going to be thicker than that of the normal Elantras over there, and is just a little bit nicer in my opinion, a little bit more race oriented or race inspired. You have the paddle shifters for the transmission on the back side, finished in the darkened chrome. Same multimedia and Bluetooth controls here on the left side. Same cruise controls here on the right side. This does not have adaptive cruise, however. It does have lane follow assist, and you can control the same menus there for the infotainment. Same hard touch buttons here for the multimedia, dual zone automatic climate control with heated front seats. Wireless charging pad with Hyundai digital keypad, USB charging, 12 volt. Unique N-inspired shifter, so this is the N shift knob for the dual clutch transmission. It does have red accents instead of that of the blue on the full N version. Manual e-brake parking brake, so this does not have electronic parking brake. Instead, just a traditional pull type of brake, which some people do prefer. You have a slightly different layout for the cup holders. So there's your two cup holders with an insert for smaller beverages. Here's your handle. It is all matte black plastic, not soft touch. Armrest is soft touch, finished in the black with the same storage inside. All N-Lines will have the black headliner, vanity illumination, manual dimming rear view mirror. There's your Blue Link SOS, power sunroof, and same incandescent interior lighting. Now out back of the Elantra N-Line, most of the materials will be the same. Now on the door panel, you do have a fully hard touch door panel with the center cloth section, no accent stitching, unfortunately. There's the seating surfaces. Go ahead and step inside. Here's a look at the front dashboard. Still no AC vents or charging, no map net or map pockets on either front seat. Seats do fold down 60/40, two cup holders, red accent stitching is still here, as well as this pattern makes it look a little bit more unique and a little bit nicer there. So that's going to do it for this video on the 2023 Hyundai Elantra Limited and the 2023 Hyundai Elantra N-Line. Hopefully you guys now know the differences in terms of features and styling and appearance differences between these two trim levels, even though once again they are very close to being the exact same price point. So essentially what it boils down to is I would say the Elantra Limited is going to be your one if you want the best fuel economy, you want a very nice daily driver with almost all the features and options that are available on the Elantra vehicle in general. Now, of course, the Elantra Limited Hybrid does get ventilated front seats along with a memory driver seat, which is not found on that gas limited version of the Elantra. But outside of that, most of the other features are going to be the same between the two vehicles. So that is going to be an excellent daily driver with the base engine option, torsion beam rear suspension, and most of the features that are available in that vehicle. Now, jumping over to the N-Line, which I'm currently sitting in, this is going to be for someone who wants a more sporty, engaging driving experience with more power from the 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. Of course, you do have the 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which is going to be a little bit more raw. You can actually feel what the vehicle is doing, feel what the transmission is doing when it's shifting, downshifting, all that kind of stuff. So it's just going to be a more engaging and driving experience in general. And of course, it's going to be faster with the higher output from the turbo engine. And given that I do drive an N-Line vehicle myself, I can say the changes that they make for most of the N-Line vehicles are very noticeable on a daily driver perspective. Not only from the engine and transmission, but also the suspension tuning they do is going to be a little bit more stiff. So it's going to affect ride quality just a little bit. The handling is going to be improved versus that of a normal Elantra with the multi-link independent suspension, stiffer spring rates, retuned dampers, larger brakes, stuff like that is definitely going to affect the driving dynamics of the vehicle to me in a very positive manner. So if you're a car enthusiast, don't want to shell out for the full N version of the Elantra, the N-Line might be a good option to get you, I would would say halfway there to that vehicle, while being a significant upgrade over that of the base model. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please hit that like button below. It greatly helps out the channel and these videos. Subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed, and check out some of my content here on the channel, not only on the Hyundai vehicles. I have dedicated videos on both of these vehicles here on the channel, but also some of my other content that I have from the 2023 Chicago Auto Show and a bunch of other stuff as well. So enough rambling. Let me know down in the comments section below what you think of both of these two Elantras. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.